It's hard being an introvert, and people don't understand how exhausting it can be to be social all the time. And it's taken me a long time to be okay with the fact that I need alone time, because if I don't, man, I'm burnt out. If you like positive vibes and uplifting content, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because every week I'm going to be coming out with videos to help you feel more at peace and balanced in your life. So you're out with your friends, which you probably didn't even want to do in the first place, and the next thing you know, it's 11:30 and all you can think about is how much time you have left to get some relaxation before you go to sleep. And the worst part is you can't even enjoy that relaxation because you're thinking about how you're gonna have to go to work in about 6-7 hours. This just fuels the flames of how you don't really like to go out in the first place, and you start to feel ashamed and bad that you have all of these needs to replenish your battery. I know, for me, that's a huge problem in my social life. But over the years, I've learned how to cater to those needs and really do what works for me. So here are 5 tips that I think would be useful to help you overcoming introvert burnout. 1. Don't feel ashamed and accept your needs. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I really struggled with the fact that I didn't feel energized after hanging out with people. And I am extremely, extremely happy being by myself. And people don't really get that. Like, I have a lot of family members that don't really understand why I'd want to spend so much time alone, and a ton of them believe that I'm depressed or that I'm antisocial or that that I'm just always going through something. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't deal with my low points that make me want to seclude myself even more, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with wanting to enjoy time alone. And the first step, I think, to really balancing your life as an introvert is accepting that it's okay and that other people's opinions of what you should be doing aren't really how you should be living your life. Now, number 2 kind of ties into number 1, and this is going to be honest about how you feel and what your needs are to the people around you. So in order to help people understand that you do need this time to yourself and that you are you're a pretty happy person despite all the time you need to yourself, is tell them how you feel. Because I don't know about you, but I've noticed when I tell people I'm an introvert, they automatically kind of assume that I'm antisocial, and that's not what being an introvert means at all. Being an introvert just means that you need time to yourself to recharge your battery, and that even though being with people can be exhausting, that doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it or that you don't appreciate their company. It's just you can't spend all of your time doing social activities because that's just not how it works for you. So just be honest with the people in your life and let them know, like, hey, it's okay. I still love you. I'm not gonna abandon you. I'm gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. This is just a part of our relationship. Now, I would love to hear from you guys about, have you ever tried to be honest with your family? Go ahead and comment below about how your friends or your family have been receptive to you coming out as an introvert. Okay, so step number 3 is when you plan an outing with friends or family, schedule an allotted amount of time and stick to it. And I know that's easier said than done because especially when you ride with other people, you're not in control of how long you're gonna be there. I know it's hard to be the first person to dip out, but recently I've discovered that I feel a lot less drained when I do this. So what I tend to do is I always tend to drive myself, just because you don't want to end up in that situation where you're waiting on someone else and they're having a good time. You don't want to be that Debbie Downer that's like, oh, I'm ready to go, and they're not. So that's why you should drive everywhere. drive everywhere, FYI. But just really, let's say if I'm gonna go hang out with a friend and they want to go grab a bite to eat, I schedule maybe about an hour and a half. It just depends on how I'm feeling, but an hour and a half I give them that time. And what I've noticed is like if I'm pretty like confident in what I'm saying and I don't have those vibes as in like, oh, I'm just trying to like get away from you, people are okay with that. Like they respect your time. And now I'm not saying that, schedule some time to meet someone for like 15-30 minutes, because then they're gonna be like, girl, you just got here. But really just try to work out a time that's okay with you and the person you're hanging out with. That way you're not overextending yourself, because that's the quickest way to be drained, and then you're very hesitant to do it again anytime soon. Okay, so number 4 is set up a reward for yourself when you get home. So this is kind of like that thing where like when you go to the gym or you do something that you really didn't want to do and then you reward yourself later as good incentive. Well, it's the same thing. Sometimes you don't want to go to that event. You don't want to go, network with your coworkers or hang out with friends sometimes. But you make yourself do it because that's the right thing to do. So what I like to do is whenever I'm out, I think about something that I'm really excited about to do when I get home. So if I know that I have a work event coming up this Friday that I really don't want to go to because I'd rather much be at home, I think about what I'm going to do when I get home, such as like, I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so maybe I'll start an episode of that, or I'm really excited to, I like to watch anime, so I'll come home and watch anime. It just really depends on what I find most exciting in that moment. But I think definitely thinking about, not spending the whole time out and about thinking about going home, but just remembering that after I do everything that needs to be done, I get to go home and relax and do something that I love to do. If you're enjoying these tips, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. And if you have any ideas or techniques that you like to use yourself, go ahead and share it down below in the comment section, because I can sure use more tips, and I'm sure anybody else coming across this video could appreciate any input on being an introvert in this world. Okay, so number 5 is going to be balance. And I say this because it's really, really easy to become a shut-in and a hermit and just never wanting to go out. At least it is for me. Think of being social like a muscle. If you never work it out, you're never gonna want to do it, and it's gonna be a pain in the butt every time you have to do it. So it's important that you get out often and you not tell people yes more than no, but just make sure that you're not always saying no. Have that balance of being social and enjoying time to yourself. That way you can really start to find that balance in your life. Because even though it may feel good to always be alone, which sounds really bad because that's how I feel, but too much of a good thing is always a bad thing.